He goes, I'm live and you're live.
Welcome back, everyone.
We are back. The JAC Show has returned for another a season of episodes, and another has returned, as you can see from the thumbnail, and hopefully our audience know exactly what it is, and we'll get to that shortly. But first, introductions. I'm the generally beautiful and I almost said erotic. The generally beautiful and moronic hack.
And I am your favorite VTuber and, ironically, Jack.
And we are here with episode 219 of the JAC Show. And boy, did the stars align that we will return on the same day that the newest episodes of King of the Hill dropped on Hulu, and that made it very much easy what this episode was going to be about. This is when we return. As soon as I realized that, I messaged Jack. I messaged Jack. All right, we're gonna talk about the King of the Hill episode for when we come back. And for this, now, as we were talking before the stream started, Jack, and because he's such a like, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard worker. That's right. He's a hard worker, and he always wants to be on top of everything new. Jack is basically almost done watching the new season, and I am only on episode 3. And to be honest, I was hoping they were gonna show episodes weekly, so we can have another segment for the show. But hey, drop it all off once. To do that. So we'll only be talking in depth just the first 3 episodes, because that is what I have seen for today. Also, hello Johnny. He says hi Jackie boy, and hi Hackerotic. Is that gonna be my new nickname, Hackerotic?
Hey, Hackerotic. Yeah.
No, it's too similar. No? Only because it's too similar to a YouTuber who has that type of naming convention, and I don't want to be associated with him.
Oh.
So no, just like, you know what, Johnny, think of another insulting name other than that, and I might choose that one. Not as insulting though. Not as insulting, but
Hacker Man.
No, because that implies that I actually know how to do hacking. Which, oh man, I don't know.
It's usually it's just, hey, I work for this business. I forgot my password. Can you give me my password? And then a random IT guy going, oh yeah, sure, here you go. Hacker Man.
Yes, and you know what? I got all my hacking skills when I worked for Blizzard.
Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I do want to ask, because we'll talk about King of the Hill very soon. But Jack, since you're the one with actual coding knowledge, and especially that info still fresh in your mind, are you following at all the downward spiral of Twitch streamer Pirate Software, aka Thor, aka Mr. Jason?
Oh my god, yes. I have been especially one of my friends, like, I used to be a follower of Pirate Software because I did enjoy the message of go ahead, make games, do what you want, do what you do, don't be afraid, that type of style. But
if only he followed his own advice.
If only he just like shut up and kind of admitted his wrongdoings, it would save him the trouble.
Yeah, that's honestly what it is. He's only in this situation because he's not just be humble enough to say, I'm sorry. This is, and it's hard. It's hard to say I'm sorry on that such a big public platform, but it will give him so much grace, and he will be in a better position for it. But nevertheless, he's going to act he's going to act the way he wants to do, and and he's going to have a audience that's going to encourage that type of behavior. What can you do
Yep.
aside from just not watching his streams? That's really the only thing you can do.
And man, like just to kind of get into a little bit of it, the amount of spiraling that this has gone is insane because both his Twitch and his YouTube has been dropping followers slash subscribers by the thousands. And have you ever seen the one video where someone was actually took the his game's demo and like went through it to see how the code is?
I believe. Are you referring to Are you referring to the videos made by a YouTuber by the name of Coding Jesus?
Yes,
I,
yes.
I've only watched a little, only because he does get so in the minutia of it that I can't really follow along with what little programming knowledge I still remember.
So
So,
think of it this way, with one of the big examples.
right.
Pirate Software made his own little lighting engine where
Oh,
it yeah, go ahead. You might have something.
okay. I remember. I remember that I remember that example, and if to put in layman's terms, from what I understand, he created. He was hyping enough that he made this unique original lighting engine, and when Coding Jesus looked through it, when he assessed the code himself, he realized, well, he not realized, he saw what for what it actually was, and that he was making basically an object have a gradient texture, from what I understand.
So the way it works in layman terms, uh, usually game standard, like game developer standard, it there's like a kind of like an overlay. So like think of a cone. You have a cone that's the representation of the light, and you put it on top of the picture, and whatever's inside that little cone will have the lighting, the lighting effect. That's what it usually should be doing. Pirate Softwares is, imagine, as we all know, when it comes to pictures on a monitor, it's all done by frames. So it's kind of like a screenshot going really really quickly. So you get one picture, then you get another picture, and then you get another picture. All that makes movement. Imagine going through one picture and having to look at every single detail of that picture. And let's say it takes you 5 minutes to do that. Once when you're done, you look at the next picture and do that again for 5 minutes. Once when you're done, you take the other picture after that, and you keep doing that every 5 minutes. So it's, for him, it's literally scanning every single individual pixel of each frame and deciding lighting's here, lighting's not here, lighting's here and here and here. But do that with 10,000 pixels,
How is that?
maybe even more.
How is that not a co a how can you run a build with that much going on just from the lighting? Freaking a game engine will crash just from you doing that. I don't know how. You know what? Maybe he is a genius.
Literally,
He figured out a way to get that running on his setup.
literally, after the Coding Jesus, he showed like a side by side of the performances because it was Coding Jesus talking about the code, and then he had someone else kind of that was that worked in that engine and knows their stuff. And so industry standard versus pirate software. Industry standard, it had a point, let's say 0.7% on workload. Pirate softwares was in the 90s
Oh my
in
god.
workload.
How, even if this is your first game, how was that any at all acceptable? Good lord.
See, my thing is, if I feel like this is why I can't get stuff done sometimes because I'm a perfectionist in some areas. If I see something taking up so much workload off of whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna do my best to kind of make it efficient because if I don't do it in this moment, later on when I have thousands of scripts or whatever that's happening in that moment, it's gonna go even slower.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! By the way, hey, get up! I see you, good sir. And also, I just noticed this. You can't tell on the stream, but on the actual YouTube chat, I don't know when YouTube rolled this out, but there's something called top fans, and right now, Johnny, you're our number one fan, followed by Ghetto at number 2, and Jack, you're number
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, my own fan.
Yeah. I mean, you should be a fan of your own work. I mean, that's just natural.
Oh, I got 25 experience out of that.
All right, everyone, start grinding for XP so we can go so we can do a dungeon run. I'll be the party leader, of course.
Oh no, but all right, but even then, look, I'm gonna be the wizard, but just so you know, I'm Adamata. What can I do?
Everything,
I don't know what you want me to do.
everything started because of that. Isn't that funny? All of his nonsense started because he wasn't a good WoW player.
Yep.
Well, anyways, I unless there's something you really want to share, that's all. I'm just kind of waiting. I was kind of waiting till all of it dies out and he can be in his own little corner in the internet.
The only thing I will share is, did you see that Meat Canyon actually made an animation for him?
I tried to watch it, but my to be to okay, I'll put it this way. You know, this is gonna sound very corporal talk. My sensibilities of humor does not align with those of the Meat Canyon animation. There you go.
Yeah. I get you though. I get you because when I saw it, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, no, it's too much. It's impressive, but it reminds me when sometimes Adult Swim gets a bit too much, and you're like, okay, this isn't even funny. You guys are just kind of you're pushing it just to push it.
But although I do like the triple entendre there with what ends up being Software's fate. His feet going in his mouth, literal putting his foot in his mouth. The Ouroboros of it all.
Oh no.
And literally being full of himself. That's
art.
Amazing. That is literal art with just one scene. It may be unsettling.
But
it's art.
But isn't that the point? Isn't art supposed to unsettle?
Yes.
Exactly.
You know what? You're right.
Exactly.
You're
Johnny,
right.
take notes. Make some unsettling art, but with but still have the naked ladies. That's that's what you gotta do. You can do anything else, but it has to have a naked lady or an angel, whichever one works for the subject.
or a goth mommy, because I think that's what you drew somewhat recently.
Nah, that's so passe. That's passe.
Oh, he did drew furry work.
Oh, that's true. No, that's true. But it's normal. It's like tame. It's actually enjoyable.
Stars furry.
Exactly. It's ones you're like, oh, I can appreciate this, and I don't feel weird about it. Oh man. Oh, so actually, I would like to ask you, Jack. Because I don't know if you ever had the opportunity to do so this entire month, but did you ever get a chance to see Superman or Fantastic Four or both or neither?
I did see Superman. I am still debating if I even want to watch Fantastic Four. Because at first I was interested, but then I
Uh-huh.
don't know, like my interests are waning a little bit.
Did it start to wane? Particularly, did it start to wane mostly because you just kind of missed out on watching it on opening weekend, and now you don't really have the motivation to do so, or is it something else?
Uh, not really. I think it was just like I think it was mostly like I don't want to have reviews like ju- like impede my judgment, but like it is
Okay,
kind of like yeah,
I
just like
okay. I s- I
hesitant.
I get you. I won't. Uh, I'm not gonna review it. All I could say is I had a good time, and me and my little brother both enjoy it. Me as the big comic nerd, and him as just a kid. Take of that what you will.
As a
But
kid, man, he's getting there.
well,
Every
he
time when you say as a kid, I was literally just thinking of like flashback to him being a kid, and I
well
when
actually,
I went back to y'all's house, I was like, oh yeah, we are getting old.
oh,
Yeah,
you should see him now. You should see him now. He is out of his music arc. He's now in his gym arc.
I tell you, if I see him now, I'm gonna turn to dust.
No, no. If you see him now, he could possibly break you to dust.
Oh good,
But he's
oh goody.
still
But
but he's still a good kid, so he won't do that unless I tell
it's
him
the
to. Also, hey Chris, yeah, he shares his opinion, and that's it. If it was really good, but it was no Superman. Actually, I want to ask you, Jess, since that's the movie you did see. I won't. We won't take too. I don't want to take too long because a movie came out a few weeks ago, but
Mhm.
uh, just just not 30 seconds now. I'm not going to time you. A concise summary of how you felt watching the movie, and if you still feel the same way after watching it.
All right, let's see. It's terrible. I hated it. There you go. That's for the clickbaits. All right. Now my real answer. I loved it. It was so good. I enjoyed every single aspect of it. Superman, very much Superman. It was fresh. It was like a breath of fresh air to see him do like literally so much comic book esque actions. Saving I don't I mean it's a small thing, but saving a squirrel in the middle of like a giant fight, that's so him. Just the little things really impressed me. I loved the Lex Luthor that we did have in this one.
The best hater on film.
Best hater on film, and it was so good. So good. Like
Oh man.
the music at first when I first watched the trailers, I didn't enjoy it, but once when you're like in the theaters and like seeing it, I'm like, okay, this is I really enjoy this.
When
The
I
music is really good.
when I left when I left that theater, man, that movie put me on a high. It really did.
Right?
It put me on a high, and I was like, I want the 4K Blu-ray to come out because I'm going to get that damn thing. I want to see it on on physical media. In fact, the movie was so good that I kid you not, it was if I had such a good time and it gave me such a positive impression on me that uh, that when I did see people with different opinions, all I could think is, "What's wrong with you people?"
No, they're all Lex Luthers. They're
Ex-
all Luthers.
no worse. At least Luther can explain himself. Now they're all in troll monkeys. Oh
Oh my god,
man.
yeah. I love the monkey. Literally, that is such a comic book thing. Like, here are my
Ooh.
monkeys.
Oh,
Hashtag super shit.
and I trained them to be trolls on Twitter. Oh man. So But I am
Oh,
very happy that you did enjoy the film. That you enjoyed the film. Did you watch it by yourself, or did you have someone with you to watch it?
I watched it with my brother, and all I gotta say, I also enjoy Mr. Terrific. He
Damn
that
right.
like compared to the Mr. Terrific that I saw from the Arrowverse,
was he
I love this one.
was he an
I like
improvement?
this one so much. Yes, 1,000 times yes.
You know
I'm
who
goddamn Mr. Terrific.
you know who else was in the Arrowverse?
Hmm.
Hot Girl.
Oh, I think I missed that.
Yeah,
Oh wait, no, I didn't. I forgot about it.
exactly. Ghetto had to remind me she was in that universe too.
She was. I think she was only in it in like a few episodes, and that was during the crossover episodes.
I would say if there's one thing I wish he got a little bit more of her, only because uh I especially after reading some more Hawkman comics, uh I have a better appreciation for the Hawks in general, and plus, uh I just like the actors they chose for her. Uh, and I'm glad to see that she's in a good project this time. You know,
Hmm.
she is in Superman. When you want to know what, and and her agent has gotten her better movie since her last big role was in Dora the Explorer, the movie.
Yeah.
She was Dora. Imagine going from Dora to Hot Girl.
Hola, soy Dora. Now you're gonna die.
It's like, come on, everyone. Say, Lexi, how would you say it in Spanish? Uh, yo quiero mortal. I don't know. I don't know how you say it. I was gonna say cero miedo, but that makes no sense. No fear, zero fear. Oh man. Anyways, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Did your actually Owen, your brother, did he enjoy it, or did he or did he have some opinions?
I love the way you said it. Knowing your brother. But he enjoyed it. The only thing he did not enjoy was
Uh
or he thought was kind of weird was Supergirl.
I,
He was like, "Oh, that's not how Supergirl is." I'm like,
I you know
no,
what? No, you're the expert. You saw the whole show willingly. you,
I was like,
you know what, when the
I didn't
Supergirl
even see
movie
the whole show.
when the Supergirl movie comes out, you have something to compare it to.
I do, and the funny thing is, I forgot all about the Supergirl now because I don't know. I don't. It's like I forgot everything from the Arrowverse
True heroes never forget. You're telling me
because
you don't want to forget the number one anime Flash that supports technical incest.
because like the thing is that like it was not literally the it's a big nothing burger when it comes to like Supergirl coming back home drunk and then leaving with her dog. I'm like it's a big nothing burger. I'm like yeah she
Oh,
would I'm pretty sure she would do that. I mean she got thawed out, found out that her home's destroyed. She's the last of her people. She's the only one that remembers her own culture.
which the comics do explore. Only thing I'm not excited for is that the storyline that they're hinting at, because she flew in literally drunk, is a very recent storyline from, I am admittedly a writer I do not like, because he has written some very poorly made comics, and it upsets me that that his story with Supergirl is the one that DC's pushing to be like, this is the one that's gonna be the big adaptation. This is gonna put Supergirl on the map. And all I can think is there anything else, any other story we could do? It's and not the one that and not the one that she's all drunk and depressed, because that's all the writer could do. That's his shtick. You want you Jack, if you want to be an excellent comic book writer, just write stuff that makes you depressed and makes and and hints about your failing marriage or maybe a marriage in crisis. Crisis on
That's why the Arrowverse got so
Crisis on Infinite Marriages. There's your book. Write it. In every universe, your marriage is failing.
You're gonna have the equivalent of like a Doctor Strange, where he's like looking through every single timeline. He's like, I can only see one marriage that works out of God knows how many.
You find the one marriage that works, and you ask that version of yourself, "How did you do it?" And he simply says, "I don't know." Wise words, but not as wise as Johnny. He says, "You're failing this city, Jackie boy."
You're failed this city. That's the only thing I remember. That and I'm Barry Allen. I'm the fastest man alive. 10 seconds later, I'm Barry Allen. I'm not the fastest man alive.
What I remember is when Oliver Queen teamed up with Stardust for the WWE tag team fight against. I forget who they're going against, but you know what I'm talking about, Johnny. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's see. Ghetto says, "Crisis on Infinite Marriages is just what Rena Spider-Man comic is now."
Damn, you're right.
And enter the marriage verse.
Brand new marriage.
Oh, yeah. You know what's funny? Marvel's been doing that for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, "But MJ though." No, but here's this chick. Okay, she's cool, I guess. But what about MJ? Here's this chick. What about MJ? Hey, look, he's now Dr. Octopus, so now he has to be with a different woman. Okay, but what about MJ? And then right in the back, you can faintly hear from Brazil someone saying, "What about Black Cat?"
I was literally thinking that too. What about Black Cat?
Oh, and John, I seen that panel. I am hoping it's in the issue of All New Venom that I bought recently. Not unless another issue just came out. So I want to read that panel into context, because if that is what it is, then thank God we're taking our steps away from the era of Paul, Spider-Man's nemesis. You thought it was Venom, Green Goblin, Carnage, maybe even Dr. Octopus? No, it was Paul. It was always Paul. Oh man.
Although I can't wait for what I'm really like this movie made me really hopeful for the James Gunn universe of DC to see, because he's even stating right now that Batman is going to be pretty difficult for him. It's difficult for him to write.
I do, yeah.
Just because he does.
And I also do appreciate that he did state that he wants to make sure that not every DC movie is going to be like Superman, so they'll have their own tone, own styles to them, which is good, because I am aware that, especially for people who are sick and tired of the way James Gunn makes movies, I think those are the only real true people who I honestly believe that did not like Superman, and this has nothing to do with Superman himself. It's just the director, and I get it. You know, if you don't gel with the style, or if you get overexposed to something, you end up just getting tired of it.
Yeah,
like playing an MMO
with Marvel.
Now, with all of that said, we're about 30 minutes in. Unless you want to add anything else, we'd like to go into the main event, Jack.
Let's go to the main event. People have been waiting.
That was my drum roll. Thank you. We are now, folks, we're going to transition from the world of tights and capes to propane and propane accessories. That's right, folks. We are now going to be discussing the King of the Hill revival, or officially King of the Hill season 14. So it's not his own show. It is a proper new season added to the original 13 season King of the Hill. Now make it 14 seasons. Unfortunately, it is also the shortest one with only 10 episodes. So as I said earlier, Jack has seen pretty much 90% of season 14. I have only seen 30%. It's 10 episodes, you can do the math. So we will only be discussing in detail the first 3 episodes, and we will I'll have Jack share his general thoughts on the season as a whole without going to any spoilers or specifics, so he can give his viewpoint, and then from there we're going to dive right into the first 3 episodes. So after he is done giving his opinion on the season, that is when we're going to talk about everything. Everything will be spoiled. So if you still haven't seen the show, for whatever reason, pause here, you can come back and either hopefully maybe just watch the first episode and come back to this stream so you can at least be a part of the conversation, or come back and watch this episode another time. But for those who have already prepared, this is for you. Go ahead, Jack. Share us your general thoughts on season 14 of King of the Hill.
So for this season, I'll make it brief. I really enjoyed this season. It feels very much like how King of the Hill is. The pacing is, I would say, compared to the other seasons, maybe a little bit faster, but not by much. The comedic timing is there. A lot of, like, if you like the subtle dry humor that they have, that they'll say a joke but to them it's just like a normal conversation piece, you're gonna love this. The characters themselves still act like themselves, albeit maybe some of them maybe are a bit flanderized in some aspects, but it's not to a extreme degree. All in all, this is still a very King of the Hill season, and the talking points are, of course, always going to be something that's within the current time frame. So, like, season 1 had their talking points about everything in that time frame. This one has talking points about current post-COVID topics. So again, I liked it.
All right, thank you, Jack. And now here we begin the full in-depth discussion of the first 3 episodes, starting with episode 1, rightfully named. I don't know if you catch the name of the episode, Jack. The Return of the King, which I was like, perfect, brava. Perfect name for an episode. Perfect. So, now this is the episode that's been showing off a lot when the various teasers and trailers leading up to the season. And so, number 1, I am happy that Hank got out of working for Strickland Propane and actually made a good fortune and a good living, just literally working for anyone else. Granted, I did not expect he will be selling propane in Saudi Arabia, but if anything, that's actually just kind of accurate to how things are nowadays. You end up going international for for career choices, and maybe you can ask. You can fill me in, Jack. Is there any future episode that dives into what convinced Hank to make that such a massive change in his life, or is that something that just never addressed?
It's not really addressed to a certain extent. I mean, it's just kind of glossed over.
All right, so got a little disappointing, but hey, there can always be a season 15. In any case, it is aside from just having a fun joke and also seeing Peggy fail at another language, how can she mess up saying Saudi Arabia? How? Like, how does she say it? Saudi Arabia, or no? How she say it again? Arabia or something.
It is. She is amazingly stupid.
and just so she sees nothing wrong, but of course that's Peggy. You know, that's it. Wouldn't it would not be Peggy if she did not act like that.
I mean, like literally the first 2 minutes of the show, it literally addresses these characters will be the same. The
Yes.
Peggy being overly descriptive of what is happening
she has
to
no
her own husband.
she has no concept of TMI. Nope, everyone's gonna know each other's business.
And of course, Hank acting very Hank about it, like Peggy, don't talk to people about that.
My narrow urethra. I would say that is a fun way to open up the episode with Hank trying to take a piss in an airplane bathroom.
The fact that she was so descriptive of it too. He has a urethra now the size of a 7-month.
Oh my gosh! The way when I saw that, especially now because she's much older, the way now I see it, instead of her just being oversharing, is now like, oh, she just want to talk, and she just wants to talk because she loves the sound of her own voice. At this point, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And also love the fact that as soon as their plane landed onto to specifically the Dallas Fort Worth, Texas airport. The first thing Hank does is he gets on his knees and he's like, "Thank God I'm back in Texas."
Kisses the floor, and then like, the guy behind him, weirdo.
And also I do love the observation as Peggy and Hank were trying to get out of the airport. They were looking at all the various stores around the airline, and I was thinking, oh yeah, that looks like a modern airport. All right, you got your high-end luxury goods, you got your snack dealios. In the episode they show boba, which I felt like that hit very close to home, considering just in our city, once boba became popular, how many boba shops just open everywhere, like the floodgates open, and every high schooler with disposable income needed to drink every type of boba tea.
Yeah.
So I love the accuracy on that, and of course leads to then Hank using the show's version of Uber, and throughout all this time, I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching this, okay, yeah, this makes sense that the show would do stuff like that, because that's how it is in modern days. You go to any modern airport, you're going to see like parking spots specifically for rideshare companies, which I remember first seeing that when I went to Las Vegas, and even that threw me off, and that was only like 2 years ago, because I didn't realize how big rideshare was, to the point that there were official spots for people who did that even in the airports. I remember that was a bit of a shock to me.
It's definitely a change because of the fact that whenever Uber did came out, I'm sure at that point it was hectic in the airports because all these Uber drivers will be parking wherever they want, and at some point the airports are like, okay, we all gotta sit down. We gotta figure this out. They're congesting the traffic here. We can't move anyone. People are running late. It'll be dangerous, so we have to put a spot for them, and it's
just gotta
crazy
adapt.
to see how it's become a norm now.
Yep, very much, and that scene leads to, I think, one of the best jokes in the episode, which one that I referenced off stream to Jack before we got started. He got a good laugh with Hank not understanding, completely not understanding that people who work rideshares, they that 5-star determines how how much longer they have to work on that job, and he just does not see it that way.
Yep.
You don't get 5 stars because 5-star service. You get 5-star because that's what they need to make sure that they can keep working, unless they truly mess up. Not Hank though. He treats it like he treats it. I think how you're supposed to treat it, and you're like, oh, do you give your honest thoughts? And what was the big joke for that, Jack? You can go ahead and quote it.
Ah, yes. I'll give you 4 stars. That way you can get that way you can look forward to something like that.
No. He said, no. He says, I'll give you 4 stars, so you can have
That
something to work on, something to work
yeah.
towards. And that
The
driver
fa-
looked away so pissed.
the fact that he also gave the Hank his own little rating too.
That's 2 stars. 2-star passenger. Hey, it could have been 1 star.
My favorite thing that was like also setting the mood when it came to how the topics are gonna be talked about throughout this whole season is when first of all, I am surprised that this Uber driver even dared to stop at a random place that was not the destination because he stopped at a taco restaurant where Hank I assume wanted to get something and then use the
Can I get
restroom.
can I get Mexican food in Saudi Arabia?
Yep.
I feel kind of
And
I feel proud of Hank at that moment. It was like, yeah, that's right, Hank.
yeah.
Only in Texas and Mexico can you only get tacos. Nowhere else. At least nowhere else that serves them good.
I love the fact that he looks at the restroom, is so confused on which
Uh,
restroom to
oh
go
yeah,
to.
I was confused too. I'm like, wait, it's like, and I was confused. I was right along with Hank. Like, wait, which direction is he supposed to go? Because one of them is the right answer, and one of them is a potential criminal charge.
I assume the lasso was technically the guy's because
You're what
I mean
you whip it you spinning it around, Jack? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, whip it around, you helicopter it,
tie a tie a
but the
knot.
other the yeah, gotta tie a knot.
To fit in the
But
pants, of course.
I love the fact that he goes back into the car and he's just like very. This is the dry humor I was talking about. He goes and tells Peggy, Peggy, are we all gender now? I
uh,
died. I died on that one.
and then once the oh, another, this is a small joke, but I love that they bothered to have Hank observe that because the Uber driver is driving a hybrid, and if you ever actually driven or ride in a hybrid, you know that once it comes to a full stop, like it like the engine shuts off and there's like you hear nothing. And the
Yeah.
fact that Hank was like, well, there's just something wrong with your car, it's not running. And that's because he's just not used to riding vehicles like that. It's not a big joke, but I love that observation that Hank would
Yeah.
he would notice that.
It's those subtle little jokes that I love the most.
And from there we end up going back to the alley where Hank and Peggy move back into their old home. That was a house sitted by a friend of theirs, which I'm not sure if we ever saw this character in the original show. At least I don't recall him.
Nope.
The Mr.
Not
Robinson.
at all. Not at all. He's
No,
just a guy that appeared.
yeah, it could be just made for this show, but he seems cool. And plus, for all you voice actor aficionados, he is voiced by Keith David. So if that's one more reason to watch the show. Keith David's in it, not every episode, but he's in the show. And honestly, I
Yep.
hope does he appear more because I think he actually adds a good camaraderie to the rest of the Arlen gang with Hank, Bill, Dale, and Boomhauer.
He gets sprinkled in every now and then. Like I hope that they do flesh him out more, but he's just like kind of like how when they first started off with Khan, just kind of sprinkled here and then.
Gotcha. And let's see. I think the first one was, of course, and as that moment, we see what everyone has been going on. We see that Boomhauer is now in his first long term relationship, as he's looking after his girlfriend's son. And I love the fact that the son cannot understand a word from Boomhauer.
Yep. Still, people can't understand him, but
We can though. We can.
we can. We can. That's the funny thing.
It took us a while, but we can.
Yeah, we can. I'm pretty sure there's still people out there that don't understand him, even to this day.
Don't worry. They just need to watch at least a season of the show and they'll get it. Let's see. So we have Boomhauer. So that's nothing too drastic, but I think that's a natural evolution, since in the original show, he did have the few episodes he did center around his desire to have a long-term relationship, and I'm glad I got that. May not, and I would love to see a little bit more of that fleshed out. After Boomhauer, then we see Bill. Oh boy, Bill.
Poor man.
The writers will never make him happy, because it's just because it will never stop being funny. That's what it is. He is a tragedy and a comedy.
I feel like he spiraled even worse.
You don't think so? Especially when we first see him in his house in the dark, extremely overweight with full-on dwarf beard, and like his
window, the hole.
Oh, that's right. The house hole.
The wall hole.
The wall. And all like basically all the delivered food just rotten outside of his window. It's like, oh, Bill, man, he couldn't handle. Like, soon as Hank and Peggy left, he could not handle it. Oh man, I'm actually quite curious how they're explaining how he still has a house and how he can still live there, assuming he has not stepped foot out of his home since 2020.
Yeah, I still wonder that to this day.
Now we go to something important, and Gil mentions it. So we do then to see Dale, who he first appears literally hiding in a trash can, and which of course that's a very Dale thing to do. Now, from what I understand, of course, as all of us should know, Johnny Hardwick, the voice actor for Dale, and he was also a prominent writer of the original show, did pass away before this revival released. However, we were informed during that time that he did finish all his voice work for this season. That's how I'm understanding. Now, I did to kind of look to see what were the circumstances to his death. I believe he did have some sort of terminal illness, and to what Ghetto is saying, he says, "I'll admit I don't like Dale's new voice. Sounds like an impression of season 1 and 2 Dale, but doesn't mesh up with the crazy conspiracy stuff." I believe that's actually Johnny. That's him doing the voice, but because he is sick, I believe you can hear that hinders his performance.
Yeah.
So with that, I won't be too hard, only because, well, the man was going through a lot, and it's still amazing that he was able to at least perform and give those lines in spite of everything that was going on with them. So I'm not gonna be too harsh on Dale's performance in regards to his original voice actor. I have to wait and see what his replacement, how he tackles Dale when he comes on, which I need to look at the episode credits to see if that happens at any time this season, or if that's going to be in a new season where we hear the new actor. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you hear Dale. It's going to be very obvious that he's not going to sound as on point, but that's due to circumstances outside of the actor's control, and they had to work with what the best with the best takes that they had, and what they did have is honestly not too bad, and works for what they're going for. If anything, Jack, you didn't mention the kind of the flanderization, and that's not a and of all characters, I think Dale suffers from that the most. But that's not a issue to this season. That's just something that happened to Dale progressively over the character across the entire show. Like if you compare Dale near the end of the show to the beginning, you can see just how much the character changed. And so if you're not a big fan of what Dale turned into in the later half of King of the Hill, for this new season, he is still performed in that manner, and I would disagree with Ghetto. I don't think it's an impression of early Dale. I think it's just because of Johnny's condition that he couldn't do the very more nasally voice that Dale eventually gotten in later seasons. Oh, by the way, did you roll your eyes when you saw that scene of Nancy and John Reckhorn working together?
I
was like, oh, here we go again.
At first, I was like, oh my god, did they actually went this direction? And then it zooms out into a video. I'm like, oh, they caught me. They got me on this. They got me. I see what you did there.
And then you look at the comments, and they're so banging together. It's like they have such good chemistry.
Man. Redcorn bangs that, something like that.
Yeah, something to that nature, and that was just funny to see. And of course, in this first episode, we also get a reintroduction to the older 21-year-old Bobby Hill. Now, for I have seen at least one opinion that they do not like the fact that Bobby Hill still has his original voice actress, and even though it makes logical sense that he should actually sound like a young man. The only reason I am not that concerned about it is because anime has conditioned me to hear very, very high pitched voices coming out of grown men.
And even then, I mean, like, there was a slight change in the register, so like,
slightly, and slightly. One thing I do like from Bobby, this version of Bobby now that immediately caught my attention was I am very happy that he is doing something that he loves, especially at such a young age, like to be like the head chef, like at a maybe not no fancy restaurant, but the head chef at a restaurant at his age. I'm like, damn, Bob, that is impressive, and in a big city like Dallas, no less. So he's doing well for himself with no higher education, and as what I also did enjoy that he still got game. He didn't still got it. He got game now.
Plenty of game.
Yeah, it's more refined now. He went through his losses in his late childhood years, but now he's got the game. He got it in the bag, and now he can hook up with any any college girl that gives him any attention. So I thought that was neat to show that he's a young man, he's doing young man things, and of course that led to the joke that because he's hooking up with some random college woman, they end up doing the deed that evening, and Bobby ends up accidentally calling Peggy, and Peggy's such oblivious to what's going on the other line and thinking Bobby is intentionally ignoring her.
Like the way she keeps talking through all of it, I'm like, turn off the phone. Just turn off the goddamn phone. Just stop.
I'm surprised Hank didn't say. Hank didn't tell Peggy, Hank, I think Bobby's busy right now. Like, you didn't catch on that what was going on.
Like I was the fact that she hung up and then called
Gone back.
again. I'm like, oh no. If that I was expecting a scene. I was expecting a scene where it was just like of embarrassment that's happening. No, it was literally just instant hang up.
Oh man, that was and that scene though confirmed to me that that we are gonna see a lot more of seeing this new dynamic of Hank, Peggy, and Bobby in a different type of relationship where, obviously they're still their son, they're still their parents, but now Bobby is not a full grown man, but he is a young man, and he is going to have more agency in his life. And Hank and Peggy are going, they can share whatever opinions or thoughts they have, but they have to let Bobby do what Bobby's gonna do. So that's good. So I do enjoy that will be the new dynamic for the show. So I'm very happy that there is this essentially this new status quo. Hank's no longer working at Strickland Propane. Him and Peggy are now enjoying their retirement years, and it did not take long because in episode 2 already Hank's struggling with retirement.
Oh yeah.
That work Hank is a workhorse, and as soon as there's no work, he is going to find some way to work. So I'm excited to see what they do with that, and of course, and excited to see Bob. Actually, I'm looking forward to more stuff with Bobby in the restaurant. I immediately took a liking to his sous chef Emilio.
I love his sous chef. That guy, he's a
trooper.
Yeah, he's a trooper.
Especially in the third episode, which so far, so I actually want to give my opinion that for the first 2 episodes, you have the first episode pretty much reintroducing everyone because it's been so long and establishing the status quo. And the second episode is just like the first proper story of this new status quo. But in my opinion, I believe episode 1 has a lot of good moments that I did laugh at, or things that I felt were very true, especially when as Hank's driving around Arlen and they just see how much the town has changed, and actually reminded me just of where we live, and like how many and how much our city and the towns we live through, how much that has changed as well. So for us, especially living in Texas, just vicariously understanding and living through what Hank's going through, except he missed all of it. We grew into it because we lived in Texas almost the entire lives. Well, Hank, he was gone for a good while, so he's getting a whole bunch of culture shock of his own like hometown. So I enjoy that. However, one thing I did very notice, and I think it has just to do with how, because it is not a network TV show, the way the timing of jokes and the pacing, how episodes flow, is something I would have to get used to, because it is not the same as the original shows, which all of those were made for network television, so they were written and performed to fit within the time constraints of commercials. Streaming shows, they don't really do that. They don't take into consideration that that there's going to be an ad breaks on whatever part of the episode that it is, because it's never consistent. So you do have, so the episode can't pace. So unless you watch it ad free, sometimes the episode doesn't feel well paced because of that. But that's just because of the format that they're in. So sometimes the comedy a little bit can feel a bit off from how I'm used to with the original King of the Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why when I initially talked about it, I was like saying it feels a little fast,
Mm-hmm.
but it could still be kind of bearable because again, as you said, different mediums. What can you do? But
Exactly. And from
it's
the
still
first
enjoyable.
and for the first 2 episodes so far, I enjoyed episode 3 the most, followed by episode 1. Episode 2, so far I thought it was okay. Uh,
I Yeah, episode 2 was okay, but I did like that it was fleshing out more of that dynamic that you were talking about because as you mentioned, episode 1 it briefly showed the dynamic was changing, especially between Bobby and his parents, where usually there would be some kind of scene where it's like an embarrassment, they talk things through. This one, I think, really episode 2 really shows like an emphasis, like, okay, this is how it's gonna be now when it comes to Bobby talking with his parents, how he's gonna feel like, all that good stuff.
I do like that because Bobby is older. He's more willing to speak to speak for himself, and his parents won't automatically shut him down because he's too old for that now. So they have to like actually engage with him instead of just using their authority to shut him down.
Also, it does show uh Bobby's side of things since like it's now how not just how the hills changed in their dynamics, but how is Bobby doing with the rest of these people? Yeah, you've seen that he's become a slight ladies' man, but what about Joseph and all that other stuff? And you do get to see that in episode 2.
Joseph is just becoming like his father. His real.
Joseph, yeah, but
uh,
I do like this little thing where with Bobby's dynamic where it's like, yeah, he wants to have some agency over himself, but at the same time, as soon as his parents came back, man came in with a load of
oh,
laundry
that's right.
and lied about the fact that his washer was broken, and then proceeds right after that, not even skipping a beat. What's for breakfast?
That is true. That's true. So he's coming to his own man, but there's still some things he needs mom and dad's help with.
Yep.
And knowing Peggy, she is not going to like say no because if anything, he just gives her something to do.
Yep.
Oh,
And this
but
shows how. Go ahead.
sorry. One small thing. One moment I really liked episode 2 was that flawless, smooth, bag disguise Joseph did
Yes.
when they were sneaking when him and Dale were sneaking around like one of the beer judges because there's a beer competition in the episode, and Joseph and Dale were trying to get some dirt on the judges. As the judge was coming out, both of them scatter and hide, and like the smoothest animation in the show, which is saying a lot because King of the Hill, as great as the show is, not the best animation, but they put in the money for Joseph to do a flip into the bag and to go into a perfect disguise as a trash bag. I'm like, okay, that was impressive.
I wonder, like how Dale has trained this kid to do these things because imagine one day Dale's like, all right, son, I'm gonna teach you how to be very stealthy. Here, look at this trash bag. Look at here's
It,
what you do, and he just does a
this is what I
backflip.
used during my time as a soldier of fortune from Mr. Big. Now I pass it along to you, my son, my seed.
Like you literally see in this whole I don't know about seed, but you literally see in this whole thing how Joseph has really become Dale's son
Oh
throughout
yeah.
this whole time.
Oh,
And I do appreciate that.
and also, did you notice that when there was a brief moment where John Redcorn and Joseph were in like the same room. Maybe I don't know if it was this episode or the next one, but they're kind of like they're pretty much on like it's like, oh hey John Redcorn, what did John Redcorn say in response?
No, it was like, oh my god, yo, John Redcord, young Gribble.
Yeah, I was like, when I heard, yeah, that's right. And when I saw, it, I was like, huh, interesting. It's like I think John Redcorn has officially like moved on from Joseph for better for worse. But
like this whole dynamic has been, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Now episode 3 I like. Now episode 3 I like the most, because number one I do love the third episode felt like what a true King of the Hill conflict is. And what is the conflict? Episode 3, Bobby doesn't want to use propane at his restaurant.
Yep.
Oh man, and also I love all the main humor of that episode was the fact that Bobby, so for his status quo, he runs a fusion restaurant where he serves Japanese and German food kind of mixed together to make these original dishes. And Bobby takes great pride in how he cooks them, to the point that he would use, especially for like a big emphasis in this episode, a very specific type of wood used for Japanese grilling. And the main conflict for this one was that he he lost a supplier for that wood, and so the entire episode he's trying to look for a new supplier, and that leads to like probably like in the longest time generally very funny racial humor. Oh my gosh! And all like the very first one was already a a home run, because Shane Wasana-song, son of Ted Wasana-song, what was it him? No, I'm sorry, it wasn't Ted. I'm sorry, it was Emilio shares Bobby a potential new supplier, a man by the name of Yoshida. Bobby calls Yoshida and explains what he wants to order from him, and Yoshida asks Bobby, "Are you Japanese?" And from what you can hear over the phone, a very thick Japanese accent. Bobby says no, and then immediately the supplier goes, "All right, then I'm not selling you the wood." That took me aback. I'm like, wait, what? It's like he wants it's a customer, man. Like, and he wants to buy a whole bunch of stuff. We're saying no. Bobby then goes to where this Yoshida fellow is, along with Emilio and not Ted. I'm sorry, with Shane Wasana-song, and to everyone's surprise, Yoshida it turns out to be a black man who was raised by a Japanese family.
Yep.
So imagine a older black gentleman with a heavy Japanese accent, as he's literally playing every race card he could use in order to not sell Bobby the firewood he needs.
It is beautiful to how this is like very King of the Hill. Just like the fact is, like, you just kind of look at the situation, you're like, it can't be serious. But it's serious.
Yes. And especially with Shane was I cannot just say Shane. I have to say Shane Wasana-song. I don't know why. With Shane Wasana-song there, I like they amped it up, like the racial humor. It's with him trying to play the Asian card, and the Yoshida doubles down as he plays the black card, and Bobby goes, "Well, that's not fair." You can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was beautiful. And then later on in the episode, as a result of that as a result of that poor conversation that Bobby had with Yoshida ended up putting up flyers across town, pretty much calling exactly Bobby a cultural what was it? cultural
Appropriator.
a cultural appropriator, and Bobby's like, oh hell, and
I love
oh my god, no, go ahead.
I love how before he found that all out, he's like, okay, I gotta go, and he goes to his neighboring restaurant, the his
Oh
competition,
yeah, it's an
and
Italian
it's like these
restaurant.
two. It's an Italian restaurant. He asked them who can who's the supplier and how can he find out. These guys, they look at each other and they're like, oh well, we can tell you're the supplier, but we need something to benefit us, and basically is trying to push Bobby out of the street and put him in some. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be some hole in the wall area. And
But the favorite, like, I love that moment so much because it's one thing you have to is you have to see it, because us trying to explain it doesn't do it justice. The whole crux of the joke is that Bobby is talking to these two Italian restaurant owners, in which they are making not like a threat on his life, but a threat on his business. But they get offended that Bobby is, but the Italian owners get offended when Bobby mentions like mafia stereotypes associated with Italian people, only for them to do those stereotypes.
they're literally just going, "Oh, what do you think we are?"
Hey, hola, Tony Soprano here. Oh, and the line ended up with with the when Bobby makes a Godfather reference with of an offer you can't refuse. They get all up in arms about that, only for them to say almost the exact same thing back to Bobby.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And then later on, as he's back in his own restaurant, these three like German representatives come in and being like, "You're appropriating German culture," and Bobby's like, "Had it up to here," because like everyone is basically like a whole bunch of people are trying to make Bobby this like terrible culture appropriator, all because he's a white man, despite the fact like everyone who's trying to go against them are in some way not really the culture that they are from, or at least not great representatives of that in some way. I do like that little comment from one of the more trendy German guy. If he asked Bobby if he knew Cotton Hill.
Oh my god, yeah.
Which, as much as that joke makes no sense, because Cotton served in the Pacific Theater, not the European.
No, wait. He Cotton did say he killed 50 men, and
Yep.
it was Japan, and he met Japan and German soldiers.
That is true. That's true. I mean, as true as we'll ever find out, because especially that episode that Cotton was making up so many stories about his time at WW2. Well, to Peggy, but I do love it.
I love the fact that whenever he was like, "Oh, I like Hill, are you the grandson of do you know Cotton Hill?" I was like, "Ah, yes, he's my grandfather. Well, he mowed my grandfather down with a machine gun." He's like, "What? Your father was one of the 50 men?" Like, not even saying 50. 50.
Fit him. So your father is one of the 50. That's terrible, Bobby Hill. But yeah, your father is one of the 50 men.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was beautiful. And by the end, actually really love how that episode ends with the what, and especially when Emilio comes in with the voice of reason, and because this whole time Bobby's really trying not to use propane because he sincerely he knows that it's not a great substitute for the food that he cooks, and it doesn't get the flavor that he likes. But Emilio then tells him, "Hey, look, man. Sometimes, like, you gotta do what you need to do, and that you can't." I think it was something to the effect of, "You can't please everyone."
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, Bobby then made a wise decision to where, you know what, well, I think he did say he ended up actually using the propane just for the regular customers, but when it was time for his parents and everyone else to come in for this private dinner, that's when he brought out the last of his good wood, so he can really impress everyone that number one, not only is he a great cook, but that he truly appreciates and admires the different cuisines that he does cooks and how he can fuse them together. I think that was actually like a very great episode, and it was because of the episode it gave me the confidence and assurance that the rest of the season is going to have good episodes like that understand the appeal and the humor of what made King of the Hill great to begin with.
Yep.
Now, since you've seen other six episodes after 3, without spoiling anything, is there any episode, in your opinion, that I should pay extra attention to, or one, or yeah, just any episode that me or the audience, I should add, should pay extra attention to?
Uh, let's see. Hmm. Extra attention. Let me double check this one because I would say that there's so many to choose. I did like episode 4.
Ooh, I did see the
I did like
synopsis.
episode 4.
I did see the synopsis,
Yep.
so I am quite intrigued of what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that one. I loved episode 4. It kind of shows a lot of the dynamics. One of like, again, once when you see episode 2, you're understanding that Hank's whole shtick now is that he's gonna be. Before he was always going to propane, going to work at Strickland. This one shows, all right, now that he's retired, he's gonna be doing some random stuff to fill his time in. So he's gonna be experiencing a lot. That's
Oh,
what episode 4 kind of like introduces a little bit more.
awesome. Oh man,
But oh wait,
a,
5.
a,
Look at 5. You have to.
okay. A question came in my head, but I don't want to answer because I don't want you to answer because I really want to see if he comes back. No, I shouldn't answer. I shouldn't. I should not. Turn away. Don't look at me. I will let it natural. I will enjoy it naturally as they come, but I will pay attention to the next 2 episodes, in the
Yeah.
show.
5. I only want to say, I just look at it in the sense of like for the funny moments. That's about it.
Okay, gotcha. Oh man, it just feels good that that the no show returns and it's actually entertaining and fun. It feels good when
I
they
was
get it.
scared for like another Futurama type of incident.
Oh yeah, or a what's another or like or any of those sitcoms that's come back that I never watched, but I know but people who have, and they end up just not doing as well as the original show. It,
Mm-hmm.
as often happens, and from the sounds of it, it looks like King of the Hill, uh, they completely nail it. So I am looking forward to taking my time with it. Hopefully, and by the end of the week, I should finish all 10 episodes. And make sure to watch at least 3 so that I can savor 1 episode a day, because that's how I roll. I don't like to binge, nor do I really have the time to, anyways.
I have all the time in the world at work. I'm just way too busy at work. I'm sorry. I just find time whenever I can.
Exactly, super busy, hard worker, very very handsome, very strong. These
Yeah.
not my opinions. These are what his employer said to me. It was very weird
These are
conversation.
facts. Yeah, yeah. Chiseled, chiseled chin.
He chooses to represent himself as a twink in order to obfuscate what he really looks like.
Chiseled chin, big muscles.
No, chiseled butt
Yeah.
chin. That's what you got. You got that clip. Got that Peter Griffin
Chiseled
chin.
butt chin.
You got that Peter Griffin chin. All right, well, that will be it for all the King of the Hill talk. We still got a few more minutes before we close things off, and actually, as this is a new topic and very quick. I just want to share you something very funny, Jack. So this so have you ever? I never just studied your gaming habits, but tell me if this is you. Especially when you play very content heavy and long games, do you try your best to try to accomplish as much as you can before you even progress within the game's story? Are you that type of gamer?
It depends on the games. It really does depend on the game, but short answer, yes.
Okay, so I'm bringing this up because there is in a podcast that I watch on and off again called Castle Super Beast, hosted by Wooly and Pat, formerly of the Super Best Friends. In a recent episode, Pat was announcing that he was going to change the way he plays a game. Now,
okay,
keep in mind, Pat is crazy in that he plays games, every game he plays, in order to 100% them. And he will spend hours upon hours trying to do that. And he's also the type of guy that he does that along with having weekly sessions of FF14, and he's pretty much done everything you can do at FF14.
I hate that. I hate that. Like, when I said yes to your question, I meant in the sense of like the equivalent of getting a true ending type of aspect, and modern true ending requirements are not like getting 120%. It's just like literally going, oh, make sure you do these certain talking points with people. Make sure you finish those. That way you can get your true ending.
Well, Pat does that and then takes it to another level. And in the episode that they were discussing this, Pat has he shared that playing like that has also ruined some games for him, because in one example he shared that he would try to complete so much of the side content in Horizon Zero Dawn that he unintentionally spoiled the final area of the game.
Yep, that's what happens when you do open world. That's why I ended up stopping with The Witcher. It was not because I spoiled myself, but just because like eventually you just kind of lose track of what you're actually having to do.
So he then announces on that podcast that he is going to do something different, and he said he is going to get this. He is going to beeline a game. Now, do you understand what that means?
Ooh, just go through it quickly.
Yes, okay. He says that he will make an effort to do. He will not do no side content unless the game either forces him, or if he has to do so to make some progression, like in some RPGs. But aside from that, he is going to 100% completely focus on just playing the game as the developers intended, with only minimal sidetracks.
Okay, that's different from what I was expecting, because I was expecting, from the way it sounded like, it was going from one extreme to another. So like,
well, that's kind of the joke going on within their little audience, is that their fans are saying, guys, Pat has discovered how everyone else plays video games.
Yeah.
Also, hey, Dr. Crow, welcome, good sir, welcome. Dr. Crow, if you're here for the King of the Hill talk, we unfortunately have already concluded that, so you're gonna have to watch on the You have to rewatch it if you want to catch any of that. I'm just sharing random topics before we wrap up things. But glad to see you, good sir. Anyways, so yes, he literally went from one extreme to literally how everyone else plays a video game, and out of pure curiosity, because he chose a hell of a game to do that, he decided to try to he decided to beeline the first Xenoblade Chronicles. And I have a lot of experience playing Xenoblade Chronicles. Over, I believe, last time I checked, over 70 hours. No, over 100 hours of that game. I still haven't beaten it, and I think I might have ruined it for me, because I really did try to do so much of the side stuff. Oh my gosh. And he did the same mistake too, except at least I got further. Like, I was literally near the end point of the game. Pat, he pretty much wore himself out mentally doing every single side thing before he can even reach the midpoint. That's how much he burned himself off playing that game. To answer your question, Dr. Crow, we're talking about a group of YouTubers, and the one I'm referring to, whose name is Pat, he used to be part of a duo called the Two Best Friends, or Two Best Friends Play. That they were a fun let's play channel during the 2010s. Yes, the Super Best Friends, yes. So the Matt McMuscles, as he's called nowadays. That's the Matt that Chris is talking about. Anyways, so yeah, I just wanted to share that Pat, he has finally learned at the age of 40 and keep in mind, he has yes, Pat is the ginger. That's correct, Dr. Crow. Pat, in playing games in an obsessive manner since the age of 10, at over 40 years old, he has finally learned to try to play games like a normal person.
Finally.
Yes, and I was so curious that I actually am watching his Let's Play of the first Xenoblade game, just to see if he can commit, because I am sure he doesn't show it, but internally he's probably fighting every single urge of every gaming habit that he does ever since he was 10, and I just want to see how long he could last. Oh man, see folks, ain't nothing wrong with just playing the main game and not doing too much of the side stuff. In fact, that's probably how you're supposed to play games. Dr. Crow asks, wasn't he the guy who was able to play and Matt the dumb one? It depends on the game, but typically, yes. Matt will be the one making dumb jokes, while Pat was the one who actually did the playing. But again, it depends on the game. And Ghetto, of course, he has to bring this up. He says, and Wooly was the black guy who passed up on sex with two women at the same time just to pick up his copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Priorities, man.
That's a real story, and he will never live down that legacy. He'll never. You know what? In the end, he understood what really mattered, because who knows what the two women are, but Marvel 3 is eternal. So you know what? He made the right choice on that day. Speaking of Marvel and fighting games transitioning, Evo happened this weekend. I did not watch any of it because I just wasn't paying attention to it, but I did catch a few 2 trailers that were revealed, well, 3 that caught my interest, and some of them Ghetto shared on my Discord server. I actually want to only see. Well, I actually want to show you one of them that I am very intrigued by. First off, JAC, a Sea Viper comes to Street Fighter 6 in the autumn. She looks very rad, but they haven't showed off actual gameplay yet, just her character model. She looks very nice. Very nice. But the trailer I want to show you is actually, and it's very short, but Sega has finally revealed some actual gameplay for their upcoming Virtual Fighter game. And I was astonishingly impressed by what they're trying to do, that I just want to show it off because Virtual Fighter needs all the love and support it can get. And is doing things that if you don't like Tekken, maybe Virtua Fighter will be more of your cup of tea. So let me pull up the video right now. Here it is, straight from Sega's YouTube. Only 374,000 views. That is too low. We need to bring that up to 1 million. All right. Let me actually share the link with you, Jack. It's only a minute long, so it will not take any significant amount of time, and share with you on the sources. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go, Jack, so you can sync up with us. And the video is ready. Go ahead and switch scenes. There we go.
Ready?
And all right, so you're ready, Jack. Everyone, let's go ahead and look at the first look of the new, what's called the new Virtua Fighter project. Hopefully you guys enjoy what you're about to see. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Ready, go!
Okay.
And that's all they could show for now. More details at Tokyo Game Show 2025, and that's usually at the end of the year. So that's just a brief taste of the new Virtua Fighter project. So Jack, anything that caught your eye in that short clip?
First of all, those hitboxes are very precise. You could see from that first low sweep that they're gonna be very precise with their attacks. But the one thing that really caught my eye was that effect that was almost looked like a burn mark. I feel like, are they gonna be adding some kind of like weak point that if they hit again it does like an extra set of damage?
That would be amazing if they do something like that, because since Virtua Fighter markets itself as being a close to it markets itself as you're playing a martial arts action scene. Not really realism, but that type of choreographed action that you'll see in a martial arts movie. I will actually be pretty cool if they do something where instead of just having regular life bars, you can take body damage, and if a certain body part of yours gets hurt too much, you'll end up that being bruised, and you get hurt more if you try to use that limb. Now that's speculation. I have no idea if they'll do that. But that idea is actually it's pretty unique, because I don't know of any fighting games that do that.
Because like the way I'm thinking it is that that weak point, if they get hit on that, like you can go back to the 36-second mark. You could see that it's kind of like the punish counter for Street Fighter. They have a very heavy stagger. Like how anyone would if they get hit really hard enough. They'll get staggered very heavily, where then they can continue on to a different combo.
Yeah, I could see that, and I will be interested to see what they do, because Virtua Fighter only has 3 buttons: That's punch, kick, and grab. That's it.
Also, that kick to the chin, yeah, that would knock anyone out.
When I saw that, I'm hoping that that's just like when if you get like the last hit of a round, I'm hoping that's like the cinematic cinematic finish when you get the last hit on your opponent, because
Yeah.
that will be pretty cool to see. Oh my god! I didn't even notice he lost a tooth there. That'd be
You
pretty.
didn't notice?
No, I didn't notice that. That'd be pretty cool. It kind of goes to that little Mortal Kombat territory where they do like to do these very cinematic cutscenes, but with Mortal Kombat, they take it too long. And you end up, and it like 10-20 seconds pass by as they're doing all these crazy violent stuff, and you're like, okay, when can we get back to the game? Here, if it's something where like it's a cool finish to end a round or to end a match, I don't think every round, because that'll be kind of annoying. Maybe at the end of a match, that would be cool, just to make a lot of cool visceral and hype moments. In the same way that Tekken has their slow motion effect whenever two characters hit each other, try to hit each other at the same time. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Johnny says, "How do you animate a shin kick to end the round? They just flop down and yell like a football player." Probably. It hurts to get kick in the shins.
No, better. Remember in Soul Calibur, whenever someone hits you with a low, your character like starts jumping on one leg and then they just like flop to the ground.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's what I believe is gonna be like.
Well, hey guys, I just want to show that very quickly, because it looks impressive for how minimal it is. I am very excited to see what Sega has cooking with the new Virtual Fighter. If we had more time, I would have actually liked to take a look at the Marvel Tokon video, where they're showing up how the game is gonna work. I haven't got a chance to actually watch it. I think I was just trying to watch it on my own, but yeah, I was hoping we had enough time for that, but we best start closing this show. And with that, we go and close this window, close that window, and there we go. Go ahead, Jack. We're closing out. We're now into the closing of the show, and it's time for announcements. Jack, go ahead. Do you have anything you would like to announce until the next episode of the JAC Show?
So I am. Let's see. First of all, my Twitch, I think 5 away from 300.
Woo!
And I just want to say again a big thank you to everyone for the support. I really do appreciate it. I sent that tweet and the Blue Sky message about it. But thank you again. Audibly, thank you. For tomorrow, I will be seeing what I can do when it comes to I'm gonna try to finish up Twilight Princess and the Pokemon Emerald randomizer, because I had those in the back burner for a while. I ended up finishing the second to last dungeon of Twilight Princess, so I'm basically already there at the end of it. On Wednesday, I'll be playing Grounded again with Mr. Winter, and we're gonna see if we can. I'm hoping we can get at least a little bit more done with the labs. That way we can be able to continue on with the story of that game to maybe potentially play Grounded 2. And from there, Friday, I will decide on what type of game I'm going to be playing on that day. It might be something for Friend Friday, who knows, but we'll see.
Thank you very much, Jack. And also Johnny, that's heartwarming to see that you missed us. You're gonna be stuck with us for the next few months. So don't get too teary eyed. And of course we'll have plenty of special episodes planned for this batch of the JAC Show. What they are, well, you just have to wait and find out. And as for on things on my end of the aisle, I am. I have recently put on a new video up on my solo channel, which is the only hack, which is a concise video of my thoughts upon the successes of both Superman and the Fantastic Four. So give that a watch if you haven't there. Again, that's the only hack, all one word. Spire Blood video is still in development. Unfortunately, I couldn't make too much progression this past month. I was unfortunately it was just a lot of busy stuff happening, mostly with work, and it just got away in a lot of my personal time. And I couldn't have the energy to do the project. But that is still but there's a new month, so I'm praying that my energy is not as zapped as it was last month, and I can put in the time to actually work on that project. So I'm praying for that. And that is really it. I have no type of personal streams planned on my YouTube channel. Just keeping things pretty lax as far as live streams and so forth. There is a new Alex and Millie comic currently in development. So be on the lookout for the next issue of that little comic series. Dr. Crow, to ask your question, specifically on track to flop. From what I understand, no, it's pretty normal for at least Marvel movies within the past few years to drop off in the second weekend. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a financial failure. It's just following a pattern that previous Marvel movies has, which makes sense. You have the opening weekend where everyone's most excited to see the movie, and once the majority of people have watched it, unless it's so spectacular that people want to watch it again, most people move on and wait for the next big movie to drop in. So, but other than that, I care more about if the movie's good or not. I thought it was really good. I think did the F4 justice. If it makes money or not, I'm not an Marvel's accountant. So yeah, it's the second sharpest drop of all the MCU movies. If that's how it is. That's how it is. What can you do?
Yep.
I paid money to see it. I did my not duty. I did my due diligence. Other than that, thank you very much for watching episode 219 of the JAC Show. Be excited for this new season of the show. And until next time, this is HAC and JAC. Sign off.
Good night, everyone.